Katherine Renee Lindenmuth going to be joining us right now, so let's bring her on in. Katherine, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. Looks like you got a nice sunny day behind you.
Yes, nice. It's actually pretty nice outside. It's a little cloudy. I already ran today, so I ran in the
Of course, you're
sun.
always running, it seems like. You ran right from one fight to another fight. I mean, we
Pretty
have a
much.
controversial draw. Wait, stop me if you've heard that again. Wait, guys, I know you've already heard that before, but we have that fight to talk about, and we're already going to have another one to talk about, so we can't spend too much time on what happened in Denmark. But first off, what was the short story of the travel and just getting out there and everything in lead up compared to we've heard some very tumultuous stories from you before, and I don't think this one is as bad.
No, honestly, Denmark was beautiful. Everyone was very kind and welcoming. I got to work out in the USA. I'm sorry, not the USA, but the Olympic Denmark gym where a lot of the Olympians will train at one of their gyms because I guess it's a Olympic hotel. It was really cool to be there. Everyone was nice. It was calm. It wasn't aggressive. I just didn't think they wanted to let her lose. Honestly, I went in there, I did my thing, and I completely owned the fight and, come up with a draw because they weren't going to give her the loss, but they would rather give it the draw, which is still frustrating, but it wasn't a bad experience, honestly.
The fight itself, when you say you went out there and did your thing, like, where were you most effective? What part of the performance are you most proud of?
Honestly, I executed a lot more pressure. I got around her jab and I was walking her down the whole time. Like, I feel like my power has been increasing. Everything I've done has just gotten more leveled up. And I felt like I really pulled out a really good performance. I could have done a lot, I feel like, of course, I could have done a lot more. But I think I decisively showed who I am and what I bring, and kind of floored her and her team, honestly, especially the commentators and all that. So I mean, I went out there, I did good. I felt like I had the pressure, I had the jabs that I needed, the movement. It's you can't get a win out of some people. That's the hard part when you go out of state, out of country. Sometimes they're just not gonna give you the win unless you knock them out, and you know, working on that.
Is it getting to the point where is there frustration, discouragement? How are you looking at this right now as these issues are consistently now popping up, unfortunately, and you're having to deal with them?
Honestly, it is disappointing to get the draws, but I can't be too upset because I got the experience. I'm like, every experience has been, it's got its ups and its downs. It gets really frustrating, but I'm getting out there and I'm doing my thing. Like, I knew when I left the ring that I didn't win. I didn't lose in my heart. I questioned. I was like, what do you bet they don't want to give it to me just because of how they're trying to build her up? And Professor, he kind of was like, well, I don't know, let's see. And sure enough, of course, they gave us the draw, but I know I didn't lose that fight. So, I could just get down on myself, but I'm not, because I'm on to the next. I can't, resonate too much on one thing that kind of sucks a bit, but you move on and those things happen, and you can't anticipate the bad things or, things going really well. So you just kind of roll with the punches and you move on forward. You can't sit and just think about the one, these things that keep happening, getting robbed, or, I didn't get paid for the last one. You just keep moving forward. You learn from each one, and I'm ready to go into this next one, my head up, and, bringing what I got, all of my improvements.
Do we have a payment issue again? Did you just say?
No. The last, the Egypt one. No. Luckily, everything, honestly, they were amazing. I didn't feel unwelcome even after the fight. I made sure to take pictures with, her camp, and we talked, and they were for sure ready to put us down for a rematch. Like, they were for sure about the rematch. Even the WBA came up to us and expressed that they thought there needed to be a rematch because they also did not think it was a correct outcome, and of course her team thought that she should have gotten the win and they didn't want to leave it at a draw. But lo and behold, she has a September fight with someone else. So, whatever that means, that's okay. But you know, it wasn't a bad experience at all.
It wasn't a bad experience. Were you prepared for the draw just heading out there, or was it during the fight that you guys said, or after the fight as you're getting ready for the scorecards, you're like, this might happen again, just be mindful of it?
I kind of felt it at the end. It wasn't during the fight. I thought I won it the whole entire fight. But when I got out and I just, I always have that sneaking suspicion. I was like, what do you want to bet? Because it kind of seemed, you just kind of get that vibe. I don't know where it was coming from because I felt like I was on top the entire fight. They kept, getting upset about holding, in which she was holding me even in her corner. So, she's headbutting me, holding me. You can just see sometimes the ref is swaying a little bit. There's no points taken off. There should have been points taken off for how, for some of the things she was doing, but that's okay. I just had that suspicion at the end. It wasn't even before or during. I thought I had a great chance and I was ready to go in there and just dominate.
And how quick do you turn the page forward and, I guess, put this one behind you?
Honestly, the moment I walked out of the ring and I said, I know I didn't lose. I was like, she wants another fight. I'll do it in a heartbeat and I'll beat her again. I was like, I might even knock her down. She's not gonna get this to happen the same way. But I just moved forward because I can't linger on it. I was pretty happy, just being there. It would have been better with the belt, but she didn't get it either. So, here I am moving forward to look forward to 2 different belts that, ready to put that in my arsenal. And it's already, I'm already locked in and focused.
What came together in that fight that allowed you to put together the pressure that you've been wanting to apply?
I just knew she was bigger. I knew that fighting at 112 just kind of they're much bigger. They're dropping from much higher weight, and I'm not. That's the difference. I'm not dropping from the weight that they're dropping from. And I knew she was going to be bigger, and I had to come out with a lot more strength than I did. So, I mean, really turning that on and knowing that my strength was there was a plus and a positive for the fight.
And as we talked about, and I mentioned a moment ago, turning the page forward, looks like with taking the fight that you're going to have July 18th, there was a decision made in weight class because you did have to let a belt go.
It's not having to let a belt go. It's because she won't come down in weight. She wants to stay at 112, and she didn't want to come down to my 105 to fight my WIBA minimum weight. She wants to stay at the 112, and if we want to make the fight happen, I'm like, fine. I'll meet you at 112, but I wanted my opportunity to fight for a WIBA belt because my sanctioning body has me completely, they're completely behind my back in my championship. I earned that. I fought Angelina and won that one. They have faith in my ability and that I earned the spot to fight for that sanctioning. And we just went ahead and got it arranged with the WIBA flyweight. And granted, I don't really have to I don't have to vacate, so and said, the WIBA minimum weight belt because I could hold 2 in different weight classes. But it's kind of at the point where it's hard to get anyone to want to fight for my minimum weight. It's kind of strange having a belt, bringing it at home, and having a really difficult time getting it on these cards here. But neither here or there, we're going to be able to fight for both sanctioning bodies, both UBO and WIBA. Both belts are vacant because she has an international belt. She doesn't have a world title belt. So this is the big leagues right now. These are world title belts we're fighting for. So, and they're both vacant, and we both earn the right. We're both champs. We earn the right to fight for them.
Linn Sandstrom was a name that you had mentioned to me many a times. How does this fight equivalate to a fighter that you had been eyeing, it seemed like, for quite a number of months?
Well, for Lynn, I knew that that was going to be coming down the pipeline, and she's someone I've kept an eye on. You know, she's a tough competitor. She had just fought Jasmine Arteaga, and that crown has shifted a bit with her loss, and then Liana Cruz stepping into the area for Superfly, but that's why she dropped. I mean, with the fight with Nayeli, that's something that I've been approached multiple times, and she can, it's not continuous that she doesn't want to come down. So, might as well. This is something that an opportunity came up, and we're just going to move on up.
Moving on up, it seems like you're willing to take any challenge, anytime, anywhere. But is moving up the biggest challenge, or what have you seen in Rodriguez's game that you feel is different or unique to possibly her?
She's just taller. She's got some speed. She's taller. She's got some length. But it's nothing that we can't train for. And I accept all those challenges because I'll be darned if someone tells me I can't. And, to be honest, nobody's told me with this fight that it can't be done. But I feel like with anything that comes outside of your wheelhouse, there's doubters. And you got to be doing something right when you got those haters on your tail, and I'm going to prove them wrong, and I'm going to bring home those belts.
As you attack more countries, as you've become this world traveler, do you feel like there are more voices, or are there less voices of these haters?
I feel like I get a little bit more because, going out of country, it brings about the idea, well, are you fighting quality opponents? Am I fighting the quality opponents? Am I getting the right opportunities? Am I just taking them for the experiences? It kind of, I feel like I've gotten a little bit more haters because I haven't just kept it local. But to be honest, I mean, that's where a lot of my competition is at. The US doesn't have, a big crop of 105ers, 108ers. You've got to travel, and a lot of those fighters are either signed if they're here in the States. And when you fight with a signed fighter from anywhere in the States, you're going to get a very one-sided decision. At least when you go out of country, you can wow the crowd and still get good competition. They're still tough fighters. Still the top fighters in these weight classes are out of country. They're not just in the US.
You're not fighting out of the country finally. It's a couple fights now in a row where it was great long journeys. It was this huge preparation and thought process to get out there. This is a few-hour drive, but it's kind of just down the road in comparison.
Right. It's just something that came about, and we love to travel the world. It's not in the cards, as of this summer. So it's just, this was a great opportunity, and, a chance to showcase my skills, and, kind of fight local. It's like as local as I could get, to be honest. This was as local as I could get for my fans. And we're going to have links soon so that people can buy tickets. I know a lot of my fans are traveling. I have a bunch of people that have reached out already. They wanted to go out there. They've been wanting to see me live, and at least I get to give them an opportunity.
And as far as fighting at home, I think you've already done a good job of outlining to us that you've been in communication with local promoters, that you've done your due diligence on trying to make it happen for you to compete here, and it just hasn't been in the cards.
Right. And, with whatever, here or there for whatever happened, it just hasn't happened. And, that's like the constant question. When are you going to fight local? When are you going to fight local? And not having that answer for them is hard because my offers aren't coming locally, and it just hasn't, kind of fallen into place with, being on any of the cards. So we're excited to be a part of King's promotion. It's a pretty good promotion, and we're excited to be a part of the El Paso journey. I know I've gotten a lot of worry about going to El Paso after the Holly Holm fight, and worry about it being really one-sided. And am I worried that they're going to rob me like, they felt she was robbed? And to be honest, my statement is it's a different promoter. You can't classify an area by what one person does in that area. It's not the commission that might have scored that. Those are different judges and stuff that got put in place by the promotion. There's a lot of factors in that. And, I've had a lot of conversations regarding, fair judging, and I want it to be a fair shot. Like, there's a difference in knowing when you've lost and knowing when you've been robbed. Like, part of being a champion is knowing when you have to accept defeat too. I was like, I want a fair fight. If she wins it fairly, then that's what it is. But I'm not going to get robbed. So I mean, we've had conversations with the promotion and with with the people down there. So I feel safe, and I mean, it's as local as we're gonna get, and I'm excited to at least try and bring that for my fans.
What has the globe trotting, you and the coaches going to battle in hostile territory? What have you learned? What has that done for you as a fighter?
Just makes me more mentally tough. It creates more mental focus because there's so much more going on than just showing up and cutting weight and then fighting. You have to worry about, different areas, speaking the language, getting from place to place, restaurants when they don't have travel for you. It just makes me more mentally tough so that when I get into a more comfortable situation, I'm already locked in. It's second nature. It's already ingrained that I'm already there. So I feel like it's just focused me more, and it's been honestly just amazing. I've seen some great fun things, and I traveled as far that I ever thought I've been able to travel. So getting that mental focus and that clarity of like, what I'm here to do this job. I don't need to worry about any noise around me.
Robbie Ray images for all your photo needs. He's taken a bunch of great photos of Katherine. I got a great question then to go along with some great photos that we've always gotten from him. How do you not burn out? You just keep this ridiculous, torrid pace and schedule calendar, how we want to say it. You're always active. How are you able to do this 2 months right now in the boxing game?
Honestly, I've always said it's just my organization. I have to keep a very strict routine. I have to be able to manage, not just my schedule, my kids' schedule, plus my, work schedule and the gym schedule. There's just a lot I have to manage, but I work really well in managing lots of things. It's like an organized chaos for me. And the burnout, like I think that part of that is that I don't get that is because I run. I absolutely, like, all of my thinking, my brain, everything processes through my running, and I run a lot. And I'm an endurance athlete. I'm used to just keeping going strong, hard, long distance. So just going back to back, I'm used to doing that with workouts.
And we lost Katherine. Give this a second, see if she's able to jump back in the conversation. Literally, guys, I was going to be one question away from thanking her for her time. Hey, she's back. There we are.
Sorry, it's like cut out for a second.
Before we let you go.
Okay.
Were you done with that other answer, or did you have more?
I don't know how much you got out of it because it just cut out. So I don't know how much you got out of it. So sorry.
What does the headline look like July 19th? You fight the 18th. What are we going to be talking about the 19th? What makes the headline?
Bosque Farms native, small town brings big home belts for her birthday. And I'm going to go eat at Tucano's.
So we got plans. We know where the
do have
post fight.
plans. Yes. I'm headed back that next day, and I get to have my little Tucano's birthday dinner. So
It wasn't a loss. If you've seen the fight, guys, the eyes don't lie. Judges need bifocals. I don't even know what to say about boxing judges anymore, but this one's a lot closer to home. I'm going to trust you, judges. I'm going to trust you, judges, until you can't be trusted.
right, and I mean, I've always said the same thing. It's not one bad apple can't make the entire batch bad. You know, it can sway some, but it's a different promotions, different. I feel like you got to give it a fair shot, but it also gives really scrutinizing eyes to that promotion. Are you going to show up for the fighters being fair, knowing that this is what is expected? We want a good fight. We want it to be fair. We don't want it to be dirty. You know what I mean? We want you to keep us safe. Are you going to provide that? Or are you going to be a part of the entertainment boxing that's come out lately? Are you going to be a part of the entertainment that is what they want to happen happens because they make it happen? So
Always busy. Katherine Lindenmuth, thank you for the time.
thanks, Megan.